I have no higher priority than making America affordable again. That's what we're going to do. And again, they caused the high prices, and we're bringing them down. Democrats talking about affordability is like Bonnie and Clyde preaching about public safety. And they are really truly the enemy of the working class when they do it.
President Trump taking his economic message on the road, making the case for his agenda and pointing to progress on multiple fronts. The president saying wages are increasing, inflation coming down, easing. Americans will soon feel the impact of his tax cuts, that one big, beautiful law. Larry, you were going into some of this when we started this hour. But for whatever reason, whatever the president says, the media minions literally pick up almost word for word press releases from the Democrats. I saw a headline that the FT ran, the Financial Times, that was almost verbatim some press release about the affordability hoax. That is not what the president has said. Whatever he does, they will twist his words and try to make it about something that he is not talking about.
Well, I agree.
I just saw Chiron, by the way, on a competing station that said, to this point, and I thought of you, I was trying to get your attention, that said that he is mocking affordability.
I mean, I get that, the lefty media, but there's also a conservative media. So, and I also always believe when you have these alleged debates, numbers go a long way.
Right.
Okay? These are, after all, economic arguments, and economy is not a natural science, but it is a science of sorts, a social science, and it uses numbers, and presidential numbers can go a long way. That's all I want to say. And I worked for a couple, and we've all looked at this. You get out there and just give a couple of numbers, and you look smart. And I would, and Trump is such a great communicator. So Dagan's right. You're right. It's a tough haul. Repetition is important in this game, right? Politics, very important. And as Susie Wiles said yesterday, or whenever it was, he's going to be out there campaigning like it was 2024.
Do you ever, can I ask you this, do you ever, I was getting to this in the first block, do you ever worry about the president using lower prices? You know, because we talk about inflation, right? The rates come down some, it's at 2.7, 2.8. But, you know, people at home buying stuff from stores, aside from gas maybe, or a few other things, they're not paying lower prices. They are paying higher prices. The price level's higher. Do you get concerned that if you're talking about lower prices, but people are actually seeing higher prices, that the president loses some credibility on his message?
I don't know. He probably should pick and choose, or he should just refer to it as the inflation rate. But you know what? His view of inflation is almost 100% energy-centric. We'd be in there with them, you know, and somebody would talk about interest rates, and somebody would talk about the money supply, or so, you know,
we
things.
Won't name names.
They won't know any names. You know, somebody would talk about tariffs, whatever. We'd have a discussion back and forth. He wants to know what energy's doing. He wants to know what gasoline's doing. He is gasoline-centric when it comes to this discussion. And by the way, he's not wrong. Again,
No.
Energy permeates virtually every nook and cranny of the price structure. I mean, if there are how many prices? The 5,000 prices in the CPI, I don't know. Energy is a huge impact.
And that was one of the things that contributed to Biden's inflation. Supply issues contributed to it. Overspending $6 trillion contributed to it. It's a multi-factor thing. Another thing that contributed to it, and I want to come back to the wages, was this push by the Democrats that minimum wage had to be $15 an hour. They couldn't pass it in Congress, but they passed it effectively in real life, and wages went up. That when you have to pay more, then you have to charge more. That's passed on to the consumer. That showed up in inflation. So on the wage side of this, that's been one of America's biggest problems, that because we pay, because we offer great benefit packages, we can't be as competitive with China. We can't be as competitive with other countries that charge or paying less for labor. So how much room is there in the real wages? Even after what he's accomplished so far, more needs to be done to keep up with where prices are now. How much more room is there? Because if you push wages up too much, then you create another problem.
Well, you have to earn it. You have to have the productivity to go along with it, which another thing that Kevin Hassett was talking about in my interview, and also the Dow Jones conference. Very important. And productivity is doing very well. And you should, I mean, really, you look at never on the quarter. You could look at the 4 quarters. I'd like to look at it 3 years or 5 years trend line. We're over 2% again. And you just have to believe, as Kevin Hassett always talks about this, the impact of AI on productivity. We grew up in the 80s and 90s in the information revolution, which improved productivity. I remember Alan Greenspan, brilliant guy, in the 90s, let the economy run. You know, all these little Fed guys running, oh my God, this growth is too fast. And Greenspan was, and Greenspan said, no, let it run because of the productivity factor from the information revolution. Now, I'm no expert on AI and quantum computing and the applications. I just know that when you have these newfangled technology cycles and Joseph Schumpeter is looking down on us from heaven, I just know it's going to be good.
Well,
okay?
I have a quote.
I know it's. I don't know what it is, and I can't quantify it. I just know it's going to be good. Because when Henry Ford developed the assembly line, all the buggy whip makers were furious. But it changed the entire country for the better. And I just think this is going to do the same thing, even though I'm going to tell you I don't understand it.
No, you. I have a quote. I talk to a lot of people who work in AI. And I keep this folder with me, and it says, I am doing more with AI every day with the same budget. There has been an insatiable demand for producing technology and creating software for the last 50 years, and there have never been enough software developers. And he said, but this technology is now AI is allowing us to meet this demand. And he said that and companies that are blaming AI for layoffs are lying liars. 15 years ago, the cloud technology is the kind of the best comparison. Amazon Web Services, you did lose some jobs because people did not get with the tech. Like if your career was bolting servers into racks, yeah, you lost your job. But he said, we began with cloud deploying systems and software, and it became so much easier. It was software as a service, led to the creation of a multitude of businesses that made our lives better. From Uber, you name it, we are interacting with these businesses every day now. And he said, if you look at AI, what is being developed and will be developed it's almost incomprehensible at the companies that will be developed.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
And
Dagan, fabulous.
And
Brian,
yes.
Remember that stuff I said that Dagan was zero sum? I take it all back. I apologize profusely. Do you know how brilliant? Look at what she's just
I'll
said.
convey the message.
It's incredible.
But Larry, if President Trump
fabulous.
was not in the White House, we would not be embracing AI and these companies and these entrepreneurs at all.
And they don't want to let every state regulate it too.
Which
I think is a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Exactly. Get in.
Dagan, Dagan, Nobel Economics Prize. Fabulous. Fabulous.
Amazing.
stuff.
Hereby nominated.
Unbelievable
Go
stuff.
to break.
No, you what? Say something.
Go ahead. Go.
No.
We're over time. We're going to hit our heart out.
Oh, no, we're not. We got 3 minutes, 2 minutes, two and a
Better
half
say
minutes.
something, Taylor.
You
Just
better say something.
Love AI productivity boom. I agree. It'll help create jobs in the future that we can't even predict today. Like I've said, 100 years ago, I didn't think that being a TV broadcaster was a job because TVs didn't exist. So technology will create a job in the future that we can't even comprehend today, and it will grow our way out of debt, Larry Kudlow.
ChatGPT 5.2 is coming out any day now, apparently.
How
Try it.
People are putting bets on Polymarket, I think, and Kalshi on when it's coming out. That's all people care. Yeah.
Polymers, great.
Tune into
Well done, Dagan. Really. Well
this is-
done.
I didn't make this up. That was an interview I did.